Good morning, everyone. I just figured I should make a weather video. I have not made a weather video out of any setup in forever. So just to explain the complexity, just to basically better understand what might happen today, just talk about it more fluid. So in general, we'll have two main rounds of storms today, especially for central and northern Illinois, eastern Iowa, but there'll be kind of multiple rounds for a few places. So the first main, the two out of the two main rounds, we'll have this area of convection that will come out of Missouri, basically the edge of the warm sector, come into eastern Iowa, northern Illinois, central Illinois. Early afternoon, let's say central, northern Illinois, 2, 3, 4, even into 5 o'clock into eastern Illinois, northeastern Illinois. And then we'll have the second main round that comes in. It'll initiate 4, 5 o'clock, central eastern Iowa, maybe even into northeastern Missouri again, and into Illinois, 5, 6, 7 o'clock, and 8 o'clock, probably exiting Illinois. That's a general basis of what to expect today. So now I'll go into more of the specifics into this event. As of yesterday, for example, this is a 7 a.m. model run yesterday. The models didn't really have this area of convection starting early on in Missouri, mostly western Missouri, central Missouri. Had some stuff initiating early afternoon in Iowa, but the main event yesterday was eastern Iowa, northwestern Illinois. But now, basically, this started around 6 or 7 o'clock last night. When most of the models, the NAM's kind of an outlier. It has stuff, this entire 2 days has been the outlier. Has stuff forming way out west, doesn't really have anything initiating early on. But basically, we have this area of convection, which is basically rain, that comes out of Missouri, right on the edge of this warm sector, but enough to definitely develop some supercellular characteristics. Basically, just a little side note, before, and even still now, that's why central Iowa is more of a hill event. The strongest Cape values are more west and more closer to the front, but the highest shear profiles actually for this one are kind of further out in front of the front, say central Illinois, pretty much central southern Illinois into eastern Missouri by early afternoon, instead of being more close to the front. So this is why this first round could be potentially dangerous, because that's where the shear profiles are the best, which means basically the storms can rotate a lot easier. And if this is kind of on the edge of the Cape, basically that could be pretty dangerous, basically. I mean, not to not talk about what's going to happen in southeastern Missouri and Arkansas, just most of the people that I am friends with are from central Illinois and northern Illinois. That's why I'm talking about this area more specifically, because this is definitely going to be bad down here down south today as well. But when I saw this with the 1 a.m. model, just pretty much further explaining this, I was like, holy cow, today is going to be rough out of central Illinois between, obviously not even the second round's going to be bad, really bad too. But I saw this and I was like, holy cow, this is rough. But we really can't nitpick the model runs because, a couple runs later, it showed this very messy setup, which limits the Cape, basically what the storms can tap into to grow. And it still showed kind of a kind of a dangerous setup this early afternoon with the first round, but definitely not as bad as a few model runs before. And then even the 5 a.m., then it's kind of back to being bad. So the model runs are going back and forth, even within the models themselves. But it's important to note that this does happen. This is why it's hard to forecast this kind of things. So as I said, hold on. So basically, the central Illinois area in this first round is pretty bad. We have these not amazing, but basically for severe weather, amazing shear profiles. And then we're talking about 1,500 Cape-ish. We need about 1,200 plus to actually have a decent amount of growth, or basically enough energy to tap into. For example, like the 4 a.m. model had at max 1,000, so that was part of the issue. But whenever we look into Iowa, just to show you guys the differences here, we got very low shear profiles, but we have very high Cape values. And so that's why it's going to be mostly a Harrow event in central Iowa earlier on. But as this second round progresses, one too far. Let's look here. The shear profiles are still there in the Cape builds, even more behind this first setup. So the shear profiles between that and then the high Cape value still. That's why the second round is also going to be very bad. But all modes are going to be attributed to this one, and then probably more of a damaging wind threat as the evening progresses. So just very quickly, once again, we'll have this area that comes out of Missouri, 10, 11, 12, then central Illinois, northern Illinois, 2, 3, 4, and this last round, 5, 6, 7, and central Illinois is the timing. That's basically what I'm looking at today. Very dangerous day, very quick storm tracks, and I just figured I would end with my outlook. So definitely the central and northern Illinois is the main area I'm looking at today. Thank you very much, guys.